we're back in the grind of regular Group 3 cars at Lobbies now. And now that Group 2 is over, back to the same old stuff. Plenty of strategies here. You could pit lap 1, 2, 3, 4. Really doesn't matter. Just pick a lap to pit when others don't. The 4 rules I should probably explain or mention more often. They came from Luke Elliott. First rule is don't engage in a group of cars. It could be 1 car, 2, but especially a group that are battling, just stay behind. Number 2 is don't pass on the outside of someone you don't trust. This includes friends. If you don't have the car control, they don't have the car control, it's likely going to end really badly for you, especially if you guys are battling. 3 is make friends and allies. Give bump drafts when you can. If you push them wide, let them back on the track. Make a mistake, own it, give the position back. 4 is don't overreact. Not all contact is intentional. Most contact isn't intentional, no matter what you think it is. It may seem on purpose, but it really isn't. Number 5, I would say, let the faster driver go. This kind of is an extension of rule number 1, don't engage a group of cars. That includes behind you. If he really wants to get you past and you show a little bit of anxiety doing it, let him pass instead of him wrecking you out or you wrecking each other out because you don't want to give the position up. Let him pass, tuck him behind. So I'm going to run fuel map 2 unless we're on the main straight. Once we get on the last main turn, I'll let the car settle and put in a fuel map 1 as anyone can mash the gas pedal. And I end up getting the penalty here, letting the last place car by. If that's fine, that just puts me further back. It makes it more fair. I end up finishing in 7th here, which is pretty good. I want to show that if you're right mid-pack, if you're finishing mid-pack on average, that's the lobby you really belong in no matter what DR you're at. You can be a low B if you really can't get past 7th or 8th consistently. That's where you belong at, and you probably need to just clean your lines up and get more consistent on taking corners and braking and whatnot. Until that happens, just keep racing. You'll find pace. Consistency is the key. All you have to do is really just hit your lines. Hit your lines, hit your braking markers. Don't overdrive the car. The pace will come on its own. So here we're just going to stay behind this guy because he's got a penalty. I've got a penalty. There's no sense trying to battle that. We're going to go in to the pits on lap 1 to get off these hards, get on the mediums. The mediums can carry you for the duration of the rest of the race, especially if you don't overdrive the car or wear your tires out. You'll be fine. Pitting lap 2 is looking to be the optimal strategy. 2 or 3. I went to this race cold again, no practice, no warm-up, no nothing. I wanted to be as disadvantageous to myself as possible to show more realism with a Class B driver's pace. I don't need to be brushing up on my corners and hitting every apex at the best I possibly could, because that just wouldn't be fair to the rest of these guys, or not fair to you, because you're not going to be holding that pace immediately. You'll be working up to it. Just patience is the name of the game. Again, don't overdrive. And this is another way of racing someone without directly racing them. Again, I'm going to say it again, and you're a B-class driver or lower. They don't have the car control yet. And face it, you don't have the car control yet either, because if you had a car control, you wouldn't be B-class. You'd be higher. And car control and pace is the exact same thing, just in different words. If you can control the car faster, then you definitely have faster pace, and vice versa. So here we cut ahead to lap 9. The only positions we gained is people coming out of the pits or people that just wreck out. So we caught up with a good group of cars. We're not going to get involved. We're going to stay behind. So whoever makes mistakes is the ones we're going to capitalize on. And again, I'm running fuel map too. So these guys are going to be traveling faster than me. So if I get a car really close behind me, I'm going to let them by it. But I'm going to let them by safely, not like right here, these twisty, winding corners. You don't pull over and just let them by. Find a good, safe spot to let them by, like on a straight. Give a little lift if you need to, or if you get to better exit, let them go, tuck it behind. And I don't do any battles in this race. I really don't do any battles in any of the races, just because I don't trust their car. I trust mine, I don't trust theirs. So that's real high probability of me wrecking out. And you have to think ahead that way. If you're coming up on these guys really close to these straightaways, you're going to have to lift a little bit to adjust for your braking reference. Because you're in the slipstream and they're braking normally, you're going to hit right in the back of them. So you got to lift a little bit, give them room so you don't smack them off the track. The drivers behind you need to kind of do the same thing. They don't really realize it. They don't understand the Constantine effect going into a corner. If you have a group of cars going into a corner one by one and they're really close, the first one's going to hit their normal braking reference. The second one's got to brake a little earlier, not to rear end that person. The third person's got to brake even earlier, not to rear end the person in front of him, and so on and so forth. The longer the line going into a corner, the more the effect goes. You have to slow way down well before going into a corner. So keep that in mind when you come up behind these guys. These guys are probably not keeping that in mind, and they're likely to wreck each other out, and you get free positions by just hanging back and being patient. Patience is always the name of the game. Always has been, always will be. The 4 rules were not made up by myself. They were, I would say, coined by Luke Elliott. He didn't make the rules up either. It's his observations that he noted, the characteristics you need to get successful finishes, successful outcomes in corners, successful outcomes in battles if you're going to battle. And that's the names he gave them. And if you follow those 4 traits, those 4 rules that he calls them, you are likely to have successful finishes. Not always. You can't avoid everything. It's just, sometimes things happen. Chalk it up with a bad race and press on, race again, apply the 4 rules again, and again, and again. See, now this guy's got a penalty up here. So I don't know if he's going to be battling or whatever. Oh, it's Mr. Squirrel, the squirrel. I called him the square in an earlier video. My mathematical brain told me SQ means square. You know, this SQRT, square root. I'm going on to something else. So it turns out his name is Squirrel. So we're just going to stay right behind him. He'll pick up the penalty, and we'll just go right past him. This is probably going to be on his YouTube stream as well. It's the SQ Games is his channel, so you go check it out. It's pretty chill racer, pretty chill guy. I communicated with a few times, and he's very familiar with my race pace too. He's familiar with what I'm about and the level I'm at, so he's not going to do anything unnecessary here either. This corner is very, very high probability of wrecking, so keep that in mind when you come into it. Take a nice slow approach. So we are at P8. Just hold your line, be patient, don't push. You're gonna get guys behind you like this, and they're gonna get frustrated sometimes with your pace. They're gonna start hitting their flashers, pretty much saying, "Let me pass, you're too slow." But they don't understand. You can't just pull over here. You can't pull over during the turns. You can't pull over in really tight spots. You have to pull over when it's safe. But you also don't want to lose too much momentum either. He's going to start flashing his brights right here. And I'm just going to run the line. I'm not going to lift. That's just going to lose me time. Like, I'm in fuel map 1 now, but he's in a slipstream. He can go on the inside here. He doesn't realize I'm not going to battle. I'm going to let him go. So he's getting frustrated. I'm not blocking. I'm just running a normal line. He's getting frustrated. So don't be that guy. And this is not a spot to pull over either. Right here is the spot where I let him go. I'm running fuel map 2 now. Back to fuel map 2. And he goes, I don't know why he's not getting past me right here, so I just lift and let him go. It's just tucking behind. It's just one position. Really shouldn't be worried about it. You got 2 laps left. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. Just keep it in mind. Anything can happen. If you notice, I run the red area. I like the red area. It helps me kind of pinpoint braking references. I don't use static braking references, really. I don't see them too well. So I use the red area to gauge how deep into the area I go before I start braking. And I find if you use it right, it's quite accurate. It's like not as accurate as the top level guys, but at the same time, you're coming into a corner at a different speed than before. Your braking references are going to move, and you're going to need to adjust, either brake later or sooner depending on the speed you're coming into that corner. So they're not 100% foolproof either. You're going to have to adjust. That's how I use this red braking area. And if you use it, don't let people tell you don't use it. It's distracting. It's distracting to them. It's not distracting to me. You can use traction control too. I mean, 2 is in TOO, or the number 2. I'm using traction control during a race. And you see, I came from last. I'm in 9th right now. See how my tires aren't worn out too badly? They're worn, but they're not too bad. A lot of guys that are going to be pitting lap 1 going on to mediums, they're almost fully red now if they're driving too hard and sliding in and out of corners or going off the track. Coming up on the last lap. Remember, we're in 9th. And I said anything can happen at any given moment. And it's likely to happen on the last lap. Especially if you have a group of cars like that. It's always the last lap, but it's always the first lap. And this is a tough track. It's a pretty technical track. A lot of people don't like it. I don't mind it too much. It's not my favorite track. It's not my least liked track either. It's a track. And if you find this track is very cumbersome for you, race it. If you improve your worst track, that's going to carry over to your best track. If you practice what you're bad at and get better at what you're bad at, everything else is going to raise by default just because you've raised your floor. So if you're only racing races that you think you're good at, you're going to hit a point to where you're going to stagnate there too. And you're not going to gain any momentum. You're only going to be racing once or twice a month at best because you don't want to lose DR. You know, vices, just throw DR out the window. You don't need it. Yeah, it's nice to get, it's nice to go, but don't worry about it too much. If you're good enough, if you play with the rules enough, if you're patient enough, the DR will come to you automatically. Here we are, P7, right smack in the middle of the grid. Not really too bad. This is a middle B class lobby. And that's where I think where the majority of the races are, is middle B class. So applying the 4 rules. Don't engage in a group of cars. Don't pass on the outside someone you don't trust. Includes friends. Make friends and allies when you can. It's more applicable to B rank and up. That's when you start seeing the same guys over and over again. They'll start knowing you're clean racing. You're not going to go for risky moves. And they'll trust you more. Don't overreact. Most contact's not intentional, no matter how hard it is. You'll know the intentional contact. That is obvious. No one's going to pinpoint, hit you off track just right and keep going on purpose. No one has car control like that. If they did, they wouldn't be hanging out in B lobbies and lower. So get out there. Get some DR, be patient, be mindful going into corners, especially this track. There's a lot of corners to overshoot. So get out there, go race, have fun. That's really the bottom line, is have fun. So you guys have a good day. I am out of here.